I feel like DIMAGA's style actually matches up extremely well against Future, just because DIMAGA, he's sort of built around very strong defensive early game, getting himself into his own mid-game timings, and I feel like that's going to match up very well with the way that Future plays.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like that's kind of the case here with a lot of the Zerg players that we have today. That's why I'm really looking forward to see how Future compares to the lineup that we have to offer. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the American Terran player representing Maturino Esports. It is Future.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map for Berserker. Here he is, the blue Zerg. This is DIMAGA. Woo.
Here we go, and yeah, I definitely have to echo some of your sentiments here about DIMAGA. He does come off as a very solid player in the early game, and he really just explodes in the mid game as well, if he can get there, and that's the thing, because Future, we haven't seen it yet, but like outside of these offbeat timings, he's also like a really hyper aggressive player himself in this matchup. I'm very curious to see how familiar DIMAGA is with him. I can't imagine they play too often.
Well, yeah, that's why I kind of favor DIMAGA a little bit, because DIMAGA does stay on a naturally lower drone count and make quite a lot of units, and I feel like that's very good against these mid-game oriented Terrans. Especially with Future going for such heavy marine tank pushes. When you're just staying on like 70 drones, making a lot of roaches, that tends to do really well against that. So what I'm kind of hoping to see is Future getting forced into some late game, because it's just not something that we see that much from him.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I would love to see that as well. As Future is going for the low ground 2-Rex opener, the Beyond opener. This time he actually is making a Reaper, though. At least one. We'll see if he continues Reaper production and what he's going to be able to accomplish with it.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be the kind of Reaper opener that we're used to, so probably going to be 3 Reapers, natural CC as well. So yeah, just playing things out a little bit more standard, I suppose. He might not be so familiar with DIMAGA as well, so this might be his way of filling out DIMAGA as well.
Yeah, he's dipping his toes in the water of DIMAGA, and we'll see how he likes it, as we do have that 3rd Reaper on the way. So again, as you're mentioning, very standard, or probably the most standard open that we've seen so far of Future is going to get across the map, and DIMAGA is looking to minimize his losses here, looking to hopefully not lose too many of his lings. As
Oh, I think we clicked on the rocks, though.
He did.
Yes, just a small misclick there. But we do have, this Reaper getting a little bit greedy, but I'm not going to be going it down, of course. DIMAGA making a few extra lings, and yeah, Future being very aggressive with this Reaper.
Oh yeah, the 2nd Reaper as well was rallied into the natural base, takes a lot of hits from that Queen, but does survive in the end. Behind this, DIMAGA does get his 3rd base up and running, and he, I believe, did pull out of gas. He did pull out of gas once you did get that 100 falling speed as well.
Yeah, the Reaper jumps in and shoots the Queen a few more times just to save face. He was like, yeah, I meant to do that. Just baiting.
It was all planned, as DIMAGA is mustering up quite a large Ling force. Ling speed is about to kick in as well, so once that does happen, he can try and go for his round.
Yeah, this is a lot of lings, so if he doesn't catch out the Reapers with this, it's going to be pretty rough for him. Hopefully he is going to be able to do that for his sake.
Yeah, as we do see one Queen getting very low, and Future, he dives on forward. He does get the Queen. Will be losing his Reapers, though, as 2 of them already go down. There's only 1 left. Up.
Yeah, trade the Reaper for a Queen. 2nd Reaper going down with that link speed finishing up as well, and I don't think this one is going to be able to survive. So all in all, I feel like, considering how many lings DIMAGA was forced to make, probably not that bad for Future.
Yeah, exactly, especially if he's able to get away with this Reaper as well. Back at home, we're fully walled off. We're going into a 2-1-1 setup. We have a 3rd CC on the way as well. 3rd CC is a little bit later. Was thrown down after that starport. So we are going to be looking to hit a bit of a stronger timing here with these medevacs, with these Marines.
Yeah, so far this looks like a straight up 2-on-1, but no, I think he's going to be mixing in possibly some Hellions here.
Oh.
Mines, okay. So this is something we've been seeing Maru do quite a lot of. I don't think I've seen too many other people using this, but yeah, going for a mine drop with this.
Interesting. I believe Maru, he did this variation against Dark recently, right? Or Yeah, during
Yeah, I think a
GSL.
few times in GSL. Yeah.
Yeah, so Future looking to try and flaunt that a little bit as well. Across the map, DIMAGA just going to be saturating his bases, joining up on a 3, spreading his creep. But is he going to be ready for this mine drop as well? We'll see if the mine drop is incorporated with the army, or if he just goes straight for the mineral line instead and goes for economic damage.
Yeah, I love the Marine move out as well. Just kind of showing that Ling Spotter a little bit of a move out, forcing some early units, and that's just going to make this mine drop even more annoying to deal with, because you're kind of going to be losing drones as well as having already lost some drones.
Yeah, exactly. Forced a bit of an overreaction out of DIMAGA. Lings, more of them are on the way. The drop is headed towards the main base. The Marine army is headed towards the center, towards that natural. We do have a lot of queens to defend. So again, it looks like DIMAGA should be able to hold on to the main force, but it's about to drop.
Yeah, it looks like this Marine Force is going to poke around, see what it can find, maybe find a potential 4th or something like that, but it's all just to mask this mine drop, and here comes the mine drop. Didn't quite see if we got an armory, but quick reaction from DIMAGA. Very nice.
Yeah, very quick reaction. We do not have an armory with this, so we will not need detection to deal with these Widow Mines. So far, not a single mine shot goes off, not yet, as all the queens are in position. The medevac almost goes down.
Oh my god, that's a lot of queens. He knows.
10 queens here for DIMAGA. He knows the unit that he does need. It looks like, oh, the medevac. Up.
Yeah, the medevac is just going to be able to dip out of there, and that is a lot of mining time that he's caused DIMAGA to be losing, and only for 1 mine. I mean, if this all gets out, that is not bad at all.
Yeah, definitely. Again, kind of no flashy big connections, but lost mining time is still very valuable at this stage of the game, as the medevac is going to just race on back home, and Future going to be looking to delay that 4th base, but the 4th has been taken over on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, it was almost a full minute of lost mining time, and also it forced some big mistakes out of DIMAGA. 9 overlords being sent out right now, just because there was a huge supply block there. So we're not going to be getting supply blocked again. We have enough supply for the rest of the game, but that's a pretty big interruption. And yeah, Future once again, he hits these 6-7 minute tank move outs so clean, and he is looking to put on a good amount of pressure right now.
Yeah, exactly. Cleans up some of the creep. He's going to be rotating around as well. Could be threatening that would-be 4th base of Future. We do see 1-1 still on the horizon. The armory is about to finish up, so that will impact some of these Widow Mines at least. The Widow Mines, they aren't going to be in the main army, but no, actually we're going for another mine drop into the main.
Yeah, that's right. Mine drop going into the main, and DIMAGA, it feels like he is in huge trouble right now. He has no Banes on the field. Finally going to be morphing in the first 6, and Bane speed not too far away, but this is a lot of Marines to be dealing with right now.
It really is. It looks like DIMAGA is paying attention. The queens do react to the drop, and the Widow Mine doesn't get into the mineral line. It looks like it is going to be dealt with. Just barely does go down. At the same time, Future focusing on his push. Baling speed is going to finish up in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, we've got Baneling speed on the way. Overlord speed on the way as well is going to help out a lot if there's more mines. But it looks like Future instead going to be moving into tanks. And, well, this is very interesting. Going for a double tank drop towards the main. This is pretty unusual. Only really works if you're against a Zerg that's on very low army supply, but it kind of looks like that's going to be the case.
At the same time, DIMAGA, he is in position with these queens. Bailings are about to finish up as well. The tanks are looking a little bit late to siege. At the same time, it looks like a big counterattack here at the 3rd base of Future.
Yeah, only 5 SCVs going down, so good reactions. The tanks are going to be able to get the siege. Really nice snipes on the Banes, but there's not quite enough. He's going to have to back out of this either way.
Yeah, exactly. The tank is under threat. It looks like it is going to be going down. Meanwhile, in the main base, it looks like the queens were targeted by that tank. The tank does get picked off as well, though. DIMAGA defends.
Yeah, tank going down only just. Really fantastic multitask from both players with these small skirmishes going on all over the map, and taking stock of things. We still have a rather even game. I'm really liking Future's position here, though.
Yeah, exactly. Again, he minimized his losses. He's got a 4th base behind this. Like, he has a strong economy here. DIMAGA, it did take him a little bit of a longer time to get into this position. Bailings are on the way, but actually, they're going to be caught out.
Yeah, getting right on top of them is a Future, and a lot of these going to be going down. Doesn't get the connections he was looking for, and this is going to give Future a huge amount of momentum.
Yeah, exactly. No Bailings are ready for this push. It looks like Future, he's going to be too ambitious. He's going to back up, clear up all this creep, but DIMAGA can't really contest this area. The creep is going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, in future, he's keeping an eye on both potential fifths. He has a mine on both of the bases to the right-hand side. It looks like that's going to be getting, oh, actually a really good connection, probably.
Only one drone goes down, but again, detection is required to clean up that widow mine. We can see Future rotating back around towards that fourth base. There is a lot of Ling Bane available here. It looks like DIMAGA trying to set up a surround.
Yeah, maybe it's around, maybe a bit of a Ling run by as well, but this base is in some serious trouble. DIMAGA desperately needs this, so he's going to try to force a fight right now.
And here we go. He comes in from behind. He gets the full surround, but the hot pickup on those Marines. The Marines do survive. Tank gets picked off, but the Medivacs do survive here in the dead space in the top left-hand corner of the map.
Yeah, DIMAGA weighing up, going for a big counterattack here, but it looks like he is going to make sure instead that he keeps that fourth safe, keeps it under control, and maybe clears out that fifth finally.
Oh my god, that's another shot goes off, 2 more drones go down. Yeah, with this detection, he should be able to clean up that mine, but as he does, before the hatchery even gets up and running, before we get any creep here, we have another push.
Yeah, Future Relentless setting up a second prong here, and there is just no creep to buffer this, but DIMAGA actually jumping quite early on this. The Bane snipes are incredible from Future, but he's being overwhelmed on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like both fights go the way of DIMAGA. He shuts down that push. He's moving out across the map. Would you have a lot of drop play potential here for Future? But DIMAGA, he doesn't care. He's going for a counterattack.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about when I was saying stylistically DIMAGA lines up really well with Future. DIMAGA is happy here to just stay on 74 drones, so he's got a lot more units than Future would be normally expecting at this time in the game.
Oh, yeah, exactly, but at the same time, here come the drops. They do come in. It looks like on the left-hand side, they're going to be cleaned up overall towards the right. The Marines, they do deny the fifth base, but they are going to get cleaned up as well.
Yeah, solid cleanup there for DIMAGA, and this is his kind of game. It is scrappy, it is mid-game centric, but Future as well. He is not letting up on the pressure at all. He's not being faced by some slightly poor trades.
Yeah, exactly, and I mean, he's still stuck on 3 bases. That was a kill in the planetary, and I think that was a cancel as well on the Morphigan CC, so he has to rebuild his 4th base on location. DIMAGA is going to be remaxing a little bit faster. He's still stuck on 4 bases as well. As you mentioned, it is quite scrappy. Both players, they're hurting.
Yeah, DIMAGA is on 4 bases, he's on 70 drones, and he is just making nothing but units. So if Future can catch on to this and he can calm down a little bit, be a little bit more defensive, or at least a little bit less committed with his pushes, he should be able to get himself into a fine position. But DIMAGA is definitely stabilized at this point.
Yeah, exactly, as he is now with a massive army, has the Bailings to support himself as well. Pushing into this position may be a little bit difficult. We do have 3 tanks, only 2 of them are siege, but DIMAGA, he's going to be pushing on forward. He doesn't have a hive, he doesn't have Vipers, but he may not need them.
Oh, this is a pretty crazy commitment. Going to be jumping on top of everything. The Sim City is beautiful from Future, but he's losing a few too many units right now. We do have these flanking Marines coming in, trying to take out the Banelings. The Hydras might be able to take out the Medivacs as well, but absolute mayhem on both sides.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that was a really wild decision for DIMAGA to try to break that location, but you know what? He's kind of doing it. We have links to reinforce going to be coming in from behind. The tanks are on siege, and it looks like DIMAGA, he takes a better trade.
Yeah, because DIMAGA got the kill on the 4th, Future just doesn't really have the economy to keep up despite that not being the best trade. I think it's going to be good enough, and DIMAGA agrees. He is making nothing but units just swarming in with Lings.
Yeah, exactly. He has broken through the defenses here of Future. We thought he was crazy to try to do so, and he was crazy, but you know what? Sometimes it works out as the Lings do flood into the main base, into the natural as well. Even if Future recovers, or even if he holds on from this position, he's losing so much.
Yeah, another tank goes down. The PF going to be finishing just in time. Should be able to defend itself from these Lings, and they are going to be turned back. So Future has an opportunity now just to stabilize. He is missing a few of his Raxes as well, so he's going to need to get those back up. But DIMAGA, this is one of the double-edged... this is why this playstyle is a bit of a double-edged sword. Despite all the damage that he's got, look at the supply. He is not too healthy himself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's got a low gas count, he's got a low base count. He finally has a 5th base up and running. The center of 5th base has been taken. He now has a hive. We have Vipers on the way, and I do think that's a key unit that he has been missing. So I still kind of favor DIMAGA's position, but as you were kind of saying, he's not as far as ahead as he otherwise could have been if he had a good economy.
Yeah, I mean, we're still not adding drones, so he's pretty much still in an all-in position despite all the damage. His next attack is probably going to have to kill Future, or at least cripple his economy to the point of no return.
Yeah, I agree. I think he needs to either go for the army or kill the 4th base again for a second time, if possible. And with Vipers, I do think he can do so, but we'll see what kind of angle of attack he does go for the time being. Is being distracted by this drop. The Vipers are gathering up that energy. They're getting ready for the fight.
Yeah, Viper's getting ready. We do have Future actually going for a few Hellions here. He's about to have his +3 attack, so they're going to be very strong soon.
Yeah, they are going to be that much more powerful in this army. The drop barely does get away as well. The Vipers are topped up. We have Adrenal Glands on the way. Still no 3-3 for the Zerg player, but hopefully that doesn't come back to bite DIMAGA later on as he's consolidating his army and getting ready for another push. We'll see if he tries to push through the center again. The SimCity hasn't been replaced, so he will have an easier time attacking here. Not easy, just easier.
Yeah, that's true, but here we go. Future is definitely putting together what's going on and the kind of player that DIMAGA is at this point. We have, +3 attack on vehicles and blue flame, so that's going to mean those Hellbats can one-shot Lings, which is a really fantastic defensive resource, and he is setting himself up to kind of just turtle and slowly get his way to a 5th, which I think is going to be a great plan here. DIMAGA begrudgingly finally squeezing out a few more drones now.
Yeah, I was going to put that out as well. Against his will, we see DIMAGA expanding and droning. And I'm sure this is something that he hates to do, but in this stage of the game, like Future, he's doing a great job at defending right now, at fortifying his bases here, at, as you were saying, just kind of figuring out the tempo of his opponents and counteracting that.
Yeah, these small groups of Marauders and Hellbats trade incredibly well against Ling Bane, so he is hoping that DIMAGA is going to be pushing in soon.
He wants it, Bobby. He wants his opponent to push into him, and he's just being active here with a couple of drops towards the left-hand side, just cleaning up whatever he can, distracting DIMAGA, hoping to maybe even bait him into a fight. Here, though, we don't really have the best defensive position. We only have a couple of tanks.
Yeah, this mostly mined out base is a little bit less defended. We have some Youngs coming on in. Really nice positioning here from Future, and DIMAGA not really taking enough care with his Lings. That was not an efficient fight at all for him, and Future's going to be happy with that. He's got a bit of momentum now to get himself back on that 5th base and getting his extra CCs as well.
Yeah, like DIMAGA, he may have been able to pick off a couple of tanks, but as you mentioned, a lot of Lings just went down. We have 100. We had 100 Lings in production there for DIMAGA. He replaces all of them as he has a pretty insane bank and he has a decent economy now, so DIMAGA, he's going to be looking to do that again.
Yeah, he can probably do this a few more times, but each time that he does it and he gets a bad trade, the game's just going to be slipping further and further away from him, so he has to be careful that he picks his battles here.
Oh my god, exactly, as he does lose a Viper as well, so a very high value pick off here from Future. He takes down the goal base and 6 drones as well. He will lose both drops though.
Yeah, 3 medevacs worth of bio in total going down there. He is going to be replacing it with much better quality army with ghosts, hellbats, and tanks. But at the same time, you do want to trade out a little bit slower than that. And I think if DIMAGA goes for an attack right away, it could be a little bit spicy. Yeah,
it's one of those things where we've been praising Future for taking a defensive position, but he's still not maxed out. He's still down 50 supply, so he has to be very careful with how he uses his army. And here we go, DIMAGA's coming in once again towards that 5th base.
Yeah, his base is going to be going down very quickly, given up. The SCVs pulled out. Actually going to be used to be blocking the units a little bit. Future realizing it just doesn't quite have the supply to deal with this, and because of that, 16 SCVs will be going down.
Yeah, 16 SCVs, the base itself, a lot of the army as well. We can see Future just diving 40 supply after that fight, and DIMAGA, he can remax. He had a bank. Future now knocked down a base. He does have a CC. Oh, that's actually his main. He's floating his main over to retake that 5th.
Yeah, main's going to be floated on it down. He really needs to get up some extra CCs at some point if he can, but he is completely starved. DIMAGA similarly pretty low on money, but he's gone up to 90 drones now, so it looks like he is just going to be taking the brute force approach to this, just Hydroling Bane over and over again until it's done, and I do think that that is going to be pretty good route to victory.
Oh yeah, exactly, especially from this point of being ahead, right, where Future is still struggling to stand back up. He's struggling to recover after all these losses, and DIMAGA just keeps coming time and time again. We still have that 1 Viper alive for some more Blinding Clouds. The base has been retaken. DIMAGA sees it. DIMAGA's maxed out. He can definitely do something about it.
Yeah, DIMAGA just continuing to morph in Banes here, and we're getting pretty close to that pure Bane Hydra army that is just incredible at breaking siege positions.
Yeah, we are basically there, and here we go. DIMAGA rolls on in. He's going to be losing a mineral line over on the left-hand side of the map. The job is getting a lot of damage done, but the base is going to fall for a second time.
Yeah, good trades again, but it's not really enough. I mean, at this point, good trades are not enough for Future. He needs to get a base up.
He really does, and I mean, hey, he just killed the gold again. He killed the mineral line, which is good damage, but he's down to 33 workers. He's down to 33 workers. He needs an economy. He needs money right now because he is broke. He is running out.
Yeah, I guess he can float the natural over, but yeah, he doesn't really have a fresh base right now, especially as that fourth starts to mine out. Once that fourth is gone, he is in huge trouble. You really don't want to be on only one base against this kind of attack that DIMAGA is doing, because he can just waste as much as he wants as long as he stops you from mining this base.
Exactly. You know, the world is his oyster. The rest of the map is just engulfed in creep. It does belong to DIMAGA, as creep is all over the place, even covering some of the fresh mining bases of his opponent. The Ghosts, they move on forward, but some of them are getting caught out.
Yeah, Ghosts are going down. Great Blinding Cloud's going to be forcing this bio back, and it feels like DIMAGA might just have a little bit too much here. Takes out that building CC. He got what he came for, and he will be just backing off and regrouping now.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. GG gets called. DIMAGA will take game number 1, taking the first game against Future in the Sparkling Tuna Cup.
Gee, great game, and I am even more excited for this next game because now that Future knows what he's playing against, I think we're going to be seeing him playing very differently out of the opener.
I would hope so, and I wonder if he can, right? Like, I think we talk about this a lot when we talk about some of the other, like, Caesar players, like Miyamaka or Gogojoey or Endo, where it's like, okay, now he knows how his opponent plays. Can he drone? can he be defensive? Can he go against his nature? That's the thing, right? Like Future, you're talking about it. He loves being the aggressor. He loves being active on the map. And against DIMAGA, I don't think he can do that. I don't think that's really a strength that he can rely on as much.
Yeah, no, DIMAGA has shown that he is very comfortable playing on a low drone count, and Future, he made the adjustments that he needed to, but at that point, it felt like the damage had already been done. He'd lost a little bit too much. Bio just didn't quite have the path to that setup that he was looking for, but yeah, things might be a little bit different on this map. I guess the other approach he could make as well is I feel like versus players like this, 2-base all-ins can actually be pretty strong, even though they're trying to go into the mid game, because you sort of just beat them to their timing.
Yeah, it's it's really interesting how the dynamic works, right, between these two players. So we'll see how this does all turn out.
That's right, as here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map for Maturino. It is the American Terran. In the yellow, it is Future.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Ukrainian Zerg player representing Berserker Esports. It is DIMAGA. Oh, we're eBay blocking.
What is this? What?
Yeah, so something that Future does a lot in this matchup, and I think I brought this up to you last week as well. More often than not, at least once in a series, he eBay blocks. It's crazy.
Why?
To force the unnatural natural, obviously.
There's no way this is good.
He does this pretty frequently. Fun fact, I think it was over the weekend, because he kept doing this, I think he forced Ragnarok and Solar as well. They were going for like 15 hatch openers against Future just to get this down before the SCV showed up. Very like ZvP-esque. It was really interesting.
He hasn't started a Rax. Like, this has to be baiting an all-in, but I'm just really curious to see how he's gonna deal with that all-in. He's not gonna have. How's he gonna have? He's not gonna have units in time. I don't get it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. As you're saying, really greedy opener, right? CC first before the Rax. Rax now on the way, a little bit delayed here. And we'll see if DIMAGA takes the bait. For now, he's just trying to drone. He's got Queens on the way. Is just forced into a really awkward opener instead.
I kind of get the CC first because I think it should be just about done in time that it can just lift off, but oh man, it's going to be close. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, we'll see how many links are made, right? For now, we only have 2 links on the way. Okay, we have 4 links on the way here for DIMAGA to deal with this eBay, of course. The eBay is going to be giving him a lot of time. You can see Future very meticulous with the timing of when he did pull out. Just barely on like 98%.
Okay, so he's going to fight the eBay. I'm just trying to think, like, how would you deal with roaches? I guess the eBay is positioned in such a way that roaches would be seen on the way out.
Yeah, they probably would be seen by either the roaches or the SCV as well. This eBay is, hopefully, there we go, is going to be cancelled in the end. Future getting a bunker back at home. He even skipped out on his Marine, and his Reaper is going for the add-ons first. Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, add-ons first. I think that's a bit mispositioned on the racks there. It's not going to quite fit a depot in there, but it should be okay in the end. We have the bunker on the way. The Marines are going to be getting out. Oh, looks like they'll just come out in time to get to the bunker. The SEV having to delay those lings coming across the map only just. And wow, this is, my goodness, this is crazy how well this times out. Everything is just on time.
Yeah, there we go. As you were saying, the Marine gets here just in time for these links as they rock up. It looks like they can get an SCV, so they get a little bit of damage. They can maybe get a second SCV as well. Oh.
Yeah, these SCVs going to be taking out. Nice micro from Future, going to be baiting these lings a little bit. Good micro from DIMAGA as well, just maximizing the damage that he's going to be getting here.
Oh god, exactly, as he does squeeze out a little bit more damage. 4 SCVs, no W's this game hard by the way, but 4 SCVs and 1 Marine do go down. Oh, no game-ending damage, but a good amount of counter damage here for the disrupted kind of opener here of DIMAGA.
Yeah, Future really doing things his own way, and I'm not sure if I'm sold on this opener just yet, but worked out reasonably well for him here, and actually going to be going into the same kind of plays that he's been going for before, these heavy Marine openers. So I guess he wasn't put off by how that first game went. He just wants to make it even weirder.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, Stim is about to finish up. We can get into combat shields right after that. Factory is on the way. I'm sure we're going to be delaying the 3rd CC and going for a starport first. So very aggressive here from Future. Meanwhile, DIMAGA just now getting his 3rd base back up and running. Going to be focusing on just saturating his bases, droning, and catching back up economically.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Realizes that any timing, still going to be a little ways off. He does still have the Overlord there as well, just to keep an eye on any potential move out. So things are looking rather nice here for DIMAGA. Definitely preferring his position, especially as he starts to get up towards that 70 drone count where he is most happy.
Yeah, definitely. Even throws down a bit of a safety bailiness here at around 5 minutes. It is going to be thrown down before even the lair. So DIMAGA being, I want to say safe, could even be aggressive here. We'll see how many lings he does produce. We'll see if he decides to be the aggressor instead. Oh no, he's droning.
Yeah, interesting that he's delaying his lair so much. So Bane Speed's not really going to be ready in time for anything here, but he's going to have a lot of queens, which he showed in that last game. Always good, always useful.
He understands, Mappy. He knows.
Oh yeah, he knows. He knows how to win. Honestly, everyone should play like DIMAGA. He gets it. You just make a lot of queens, you just get to 70 drones, and then you just take the D key out of your keyboard and just throw it away out the window.
I'm getting deja vu. I'm pretty sure you were like astounded and praising DIMAGA for his queen count in like the early rounds of WTL. I think it happened then as well, or maybe like the qualifiers for WTL. But yeah, DIMAGA, he knows.
Yeah, this is like the perfect style. I'm praising it because I don't know how to beat it.
Oh god, as the 3rd base is on the way. Lair finally on the way here for DIMAGA. Again, it was a little bit delayed, but now should be finishing up here so he can get ready for that first push. That first push, by the way, should be upon us momentarily.
Yeah, I think DIMAGA's actually reading this as a 2-base all-in. I guess it makes a lot of sense. There's only one eBay. It kind of is a 2-base all-in in some ways, but this is kind of how Future plays. Like he plays these 2-base all-ins with a 3rd at like an okay time behind it, and not many people play like this. Most people play either a fast 3 CC or a full 2-base all-in, where he's playing kind of that 2-base timing, but with a little bit more economy behind it. And I think it's going to be quite effective here. I mean, DIMAGA, he's stopped on 56 drones, he's made 12 queens, so this is your typical preparation for a 2-base all-in, and Future's economy is going to be a little bit better than he expected.
Yeah, exactly. Even though this is a much later third base for Future, it is going to kick in here, and DIMAGA doesn't have exactly the best economy to really dive off of this. As I say that, Link counterattack is going to delay mining here at the third base, so Future is taking some losses here as he's dropping into the main.
Yeah, okay. Future going to be setting up in the main. DIMAGA caught a little bit out of position, but I'm kind of worried about this position for Future. There's not that much to support the tank on the low ground. Oh, great tank shots, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. A good amount of aliens do go down, and links as well to those tanks. There's nothing on the low ground at the same time. DIMAGA does go for another counterattack, but Future is in position.
Yeah, beautiful positioning. The tank just shielding, tucking those Marines into the wall there. So Future playing this out wonderfully.
This is a sight you don't see too often, but it looks so cozy.
Yeah, I like it.
It's beautiful. It's very aesthetic because the Queens are pushing on forward, focusing down. Oh my god, medevac after medevac. The tank shots are insane, but the Queens are going to be able to bring it down.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Queens are really good.
Oh my god, the tank survives on 1 HP.
This is like the most sad part when you're doing a 2-base all-in and someone prepares well and they've got like 12 plus queens, where your entire army can't really beat 12 queens.
The transfuses were insane. I mean, you saw there, right? Like the Link Bane was behind the queens were like, yo, we'll take care of this, okay? That's the Link Bane did stay back. But Future did preserve his units for the most part. He has a second push here on the left-hand side of the map as well, so he's gonna try and go for this split push scenario. DIMAGA doesn't have the most amount of supply, but he does get us around.
Yeah, DIMAGA jumping on top of the Marines here. The tanks are left undefended, so they're going to be going down quite cheaply. I really like the way as well that DIMAGA is spreading out his Bane, so not too many of those can be targeted down. And suddenly he has a big amount of momentum on his side. Future looks like he's thrown down this eBay and armor in a bit of a rush. They are going to be quite exposed, but they set up a nice position for him to defend from.
Yeah, good choke point here, but the Banelings are connecting. Looks like this last tank may just barely go down as well. Ooh. And DIMAGA is not stopping. He is reinforcing it with more links. The tank survives!
Yeah, tank survives with a sliver of health. Future is going to be able to barely hold on to this position. He has a 4th CC coming up, so all in all, DIMAGA taking some fantastic trades in the last few minutes, but Future is holding on.
He is holding on. DIMAGA, he needs a little bit more done. Queens are getting picked off one after the other. It looks like the Banelings will not connect either. Future does back off in time, and he's taking his 5th base. At the same time, Baneling counterattack does slip in.
Yeah, Baneling's going to be slipping in there, taking out an indeterminate amount of SCVs. But we do have another attack set up on the 3rd here as well. The target fire on the Banelings is good. Quite a few of those going to be going down. A nice quick pull from the SCVs, so not going to be the best trade from DIMAGA, but we're kind of seeing a replay of that last game where his trades are not good, but he's killing enough. The Future can't defend his economy properly.
Yeah, exactly. And not just that, the eBay and the Armory just went down as well. So that is going to have to be replaced here for Future if he wants to focus on his upgrades. Hopefully he realizes it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's +2 attack that went down. Definitely an important upgrade. Oh, the tanks are left exposed. DIMAGA jumping on top of that right when the Marines walk away, getting a little bit fortunate there. And wow, there's no medevac support for these Marines. They are not going to be able to win this fight.
Oh, yeah, especially not with the links and Banelings rolling on in. The Banelings do peel off here to get into the mineral line. The Marines are holding on, but the SCVs are going to go down. Oof.
Oh, yeah, the Banelings get the connections. The Hydra's going to be finishing off the last few, and DIMAGA, it looks like he is just marching on forward to victory once again. We do have an extra base coming up for Future, and it is a PR, so he is going to be able to secure that, but it feels like there's only so many more of these attacks that he can bear.
It feels like Future, he's met his match. He has met his Ukrainian brother. It feels like DIMAGA's kind of the anti-Future in a way, because they're so similar here. They cancel each other out. He's a negative to the Future positive, or vice versa, depending on how you look at it. And yeah, even though DIMAGA, he doesn't really have the best economy here, he's doing enough to just keep Future on the back foot.
Yeah, that's right. As these attacks just keep on crashing in again and again, Future, he barely has enough to hold on, and with such a low economy, when you're being traded out with constantly like this, kind of just a matter of time before the Zerg outgrows you.
Yeah, definitely. What I will say, thankfully, looking at the vision of DIMAGA, he has seen the 5th base, but the 5th has been left untouched. So at least Future has this up and running. He's recovering. He did save his orbital as well, so he's going to be able to get it back saturated as well. And DIMAGA is backing off. He's droning right now. He's trying to resaturate his bases.
Yeah, but at the same time, this 5th is so exposed. Future's kind of gone for a bit of an unusual setup here, mostly reactors, so going for this mass marine style, but he's only got one factory pumping out tanks, so he's not going to have much splash available to him, and that 4th, without the tank setup, without the mines as well, is looking really exposed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this bio-heavy composition doesn't do too well defensively, is kind of what you're getting at, and the tank count is suffering as a result. The defense is suffering as a result. We'll see if Future can hold on here as DIMAGA is going to be backing off for a moment. He's giving Future time to breathe. DIMAGA is working on his Hive, is, I imagine, going to be working on his Vipers. Before that happens, Future has a bit of map control.
Yeah, that's right, he does, and he's going to be able to deny this base, but the response from DIMAGA is pretty quick, so he's going to be able to push this back. Something you mentioned as well, you were hoping that Future noticed that he lost his upgrades. We still don't have +2 started.
No armory. The armory has not been replaced. It has not been rebuilt. Future is going to be stuck on 1-2 for quite some time, and hopefully he does realize it at some point this game.
Yeah, I think he's just all in with this army that he's got here, and it kind of makes sense with the setup that he's got as well.
Yeah.
All his Raxes on reactors. There's not too much longevity with this attack, but good connections for DIMAGA. The tank line creeps forward though, and there's potential here. I actually think that Future's got himself a pretty nice position, and DIMAGA agrees. He gives up the base right away. Fantastic decision making.
Yeah, he's not going to try to fight for that hatchery. He's going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. Instead, we do have a double job coming in from behind, but the Queens and the Hydras are in position. The Navax, they get shut down, and DIMAGA has a little bit more breathing room here. He has time to deal with the tanks, with the Marines, to try to set up for even a surround.
Yeah, and these Queens, they've had time to build up this energy. That's going to be a fantastic resource for slowing down this push.
It really is, as the Queens, they can be brought forward as well. We can see Future reinforcing with more Marines as well. As that happens, the tanks are left exposed.
Yeah, the tanks are exposed, the Marines are exposed as well. Going to be falling in from every angle, and Future was just not prepared to be jumped in the middle of the map here. That one creep tumor working overtime to give it the perfect engagement.
Oh my god, DIMAGA, he saw everything. He saw the opportunity to pounce, and he did dive on that army. He just keeps on pushing here, punishing this 3rd base. There is a drop across the map that is getting damage done, but at the same time, DIMAGA is breaking Future.
Yeah, he is. These Marines, they've got nowhere to run. They have been killed up against this tank. The tank going to be going down as well. The medevac escaping with all the last of his units, but DIMAGA, he senses blood. He wants to end it right here, right now.
Yeah, he really does. It looks like he's going to get the final tank and the final medevac. The tank does barely survive. The Hydras are kind of running out of steam a little bit here, but reinforcements are on the way. DIMAGA wants to kill his opponent, wants to kill Future.
Yeah, DIMAGA just continuing to rally in, and that's making the supplies a lot closer than they maybe necessarily should be, but I just don't know if Future's going to be able to keep up with the production. He is making 15 Marines at a time.
True. Yeah, we do have 15 Marines being produced here. It looks like DIMAGA has to back off. He may be overextended a little bit, and hey, this center base is still mining. Another CC has been thrown down.
Yeah, DIMAGA going to be reminding Future of that fact as well. So now that CC can kind of fly over to the right, start to be set up, and I think with all of these Marines coming out at a time, I actually don't hate this for Future that much. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's floating his main over to retake his 3rd base. We have a 5th base on the way as well. So if Future is given some time here, he can recover. That's the thing, though. He needs time, and DIMAGA now has Vipers on the way. Vipers are going to make these pushes so much more effective. They're going to make this so much easier now for DIMAGA.
Yeah, it looks like DIMAGA with 3-3 on the way, with Adrenal on the way as well. He's going to be setting up to take a massive fight here, and Future's going to be spread very thin. I mean, it's great that he's got 3 bases up. He can potentially even give up one of them, but in the end here, it's going to be very difficult to make a defense at any one of these bases.
It really is. Like, Future is going to need foresight ahead of time so he can prepare and just rotate his army over. As you were saying, he just doesn't really have enough to defend all 3 at the same time. But thankfully, you know what? +2 is on the way, +3 as well. The armory was rebuilt. We have our upgrades. It's all good.
Yeah, so just going to be behind the one upgrade. It's just going to be the attack upgrade. Presumably, if this hits at 3-3 with Adrenal, as we do see, yeah, just Banelings continue to be produced. And this is what really worries me. I feel like if DIMAGA just maxes out and makes as many Banelings as he can, there's just not really enough splash to deal with that.
Yeah, I think DIMAGA, he can just kill bases, right? He can just focus on killing the center base, maybe even the base on the right-hand side, because they're planetaries, they cannot lift up. And here we go, he rolls on in. Future out of position, the base is so exposed, and the planetary is going to go down.
Yeah, his base absolutely gone. Future really doesn't need to fight this. Would love to see him just set up to defend at the base on the right-hand side, but no, he's going to be getting caught pretty badly out of position here, and he could be losing another base as a result, but DIMAGA a little bit indecisive here.
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to figure out where the army was. Good blinding clouds on some of these tanks on the Marines as well.
Oh! Huge blinding clouds here, going to be messing up the AI completely, making it impossible for Future to split properly.
Oh my god, exactly. The tanks go down, the Banelings connect, GG gets called, and DIMAGA will take the series at 2-0.
GG, DIMAGA. As I was kind of expecting, matching up stylistically really well against Future, and he shows his prowess in the mid game and completely overwhelms.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if Future did go down here, he made for some amazing games. This was an entertaining series, to say the least, and yeah, again, I was really curious if Future was aware of how DIMAGA played, just because they come from different regions, and you know, I'm sure Future mainly tunes into something like GSL, not so much some of these online weekly tournaments, and yeah, DIMAGA stylistically does shape up quite well against Future, and it was just a wild series,
Yeah, it's really fun to watch. I mean, at the tip-top level, we don't really see people playing like either of these guys, but these guys are pretty much at that tip-top level. So we're seeing an unusual style played at extremely high skill. It's really fun.
It really is. It really is. So congratulations to DIMAGA for advancing on to the semi-finals. My condolences to Future, as this was his debut. This was his debut in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, but alas, his run does end here. He will not be a Royal Roader. He does meet his end in the quarterfinals, but hopefully this isn't the last we see of him. Clearly, we can see that here at the Sparkling Tuna Cup, we have pretty competitive and pretty comparable players to offer him, so hopefully he becomes a regular.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really fun to watch him here, and I do feel like DIMAGA is probably one of the worst opponents he could have got in this entire bracket. So it's a little bit unlucky, but yeah, I hope to see him back. And yeah, seeing him and Vindicta, maybe we'll be able to see a TVT between those two in the future, which I can tell you from having seen before is always a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Future and Vindicta, of course, the two best Terran players in North America, and it's always a wild time whenever we do see them face off. It will not be happening this week, though, as we can take this moment to have a look at the bracket itself. We have a couple of updates coming on in.